Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I'm so happy that you're here today. I am Logan, of course, the host with the most. Thank you for tuning in today. We got a good one. Before we dive in, of course, please, wherever you're listening, whether it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all of the places, make sure that you hit subscribe or follow or wherever you're listening so that every Wednesday when episodes drop, you are in the know. Of course, leaving a review on any of those platforms, and it's different across all of those platforms, but a like, a follow, a subscribe, a review, a comment, a rating, whatever it takes for you to give me some feedback, I would love it, positive or negative. Helps me grow and reaches more people. Of course, behind the scenes stuff, updates, clips, sponsor information, guest info, all of those things and more. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. If you just search Your Morning Drive, you will find our coffee cup logo. Guys, my guest today is an entrepreneur, a podcaster, a neurofeedback clinician, and a community builder with over 15 years of experience in brain health and performance. She's the founder and owner of Brain Train Centers, which she has grown over nearly 14 years, 10 offices serving individuals and families through evidence-based neurofeedback and assessments. She's passionate about making brain health approachable and empowering, blending science, education, and compassion to support focus, emotional regulation, and overall well-being. She's also expanded her impact beyond clinical work by launching a nonprofit makerspace in Acworth focused on creativity, learning, and community connection. Please welcome my new friend, Melissa Hergert.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks
This
for
is
having
fun.
me.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Fun. Yes.
I feel like you're like a celebrity, a local celebrity. I mean, it might be like an S-list celebrity. Like we're really far down there, and I'd put myself there with you. Like people around town are like, "Oh, podcast guy." I'm like, "Oh God, you want me to sign something for you?" Just like
no autographs right now, please.
Yeah, right. Please,
busy.
I'm working right now. Please leave me alone.
I did go into the wine bar the other day, and there was a whole group of women. They're like, Melissa. I was like, hi.
Yeah, it's so funny because I feel like, and we can get into this in a little bit, but I kind of feel like I know I struggle with this with like validation and attention, and I really like it and want it really.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I feel like a lot of us like creatives or entrepreneurs or people that do stuff for themselves are all the same.
Yes.
Do you struggle with that at all?
No, that's my like. I'm a Leo, so we just love attention, anyways. When's your birthday?
April.
Okay, you're not
Aries.
Doesn't matter. You're not Leo.
I used to think I was Leo for some reason. I think someone in like 7th grade was like, April, you're a Leo. And for like the first like 20 years of my life, I was like, I'm a Leo. And then I matched with this girl on Tinder back when I was dating. And she like had in her bio that like she was like a, what are they called? Like a sign?
Psychic,
yeah.
astrologist.
Yeah. Like
something like that.
The astrology thing was like her shtick. And she was just like, DM me your sign and I'll see if we're compatible. And I was like, oh God. But also I was 20 and I was, you know.
Right.
So I was like, screw it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
So I messaged her. I was like, hey, my birthday's in April. I'm a Leo. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, huh? And she was like, have you never researched this? And I was like, no. I'm a dude. And she was like, it's not a women thing. And then it just like spiraled and we never went on a date. Probably rightfully so.
But
she was like, oh, Aries, we're not compatible. And I was like, I could already tell. So,
no.
So what, you embrace it?
No, I mean, I love being a Leo, but I'm not like, I'm very science-based. So it's fun. It's fun to like see listen, I do believe in like the stars and all that and alignment, blah, 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 all the good universe stuff. So there's got to be something to it. But I mean, according to astrology and all that, Leos are just attention seekers, love being the middle of attention, are always like, you know, very extrovert, always putting parties together, the life of the party type thing.
I might as well be a Leo by association or something.
Yeah, I think you convinced yourself enough, so then you turned into that. You know, your mind's a very powerful thing, so.
Maybe. I mean, you know that better than anybody.
I do, yeah.
You know what's crazy is, when I ask people to fill out that form for me, like you give me the bio, and which you did great, by the way. Most people are just like, they give me like 2 sentences. You gave me so much to work with.
Good thing for Chat.
Shout out to you.
And Chat.
Well, shout out to you and Chat. Because Chat makes us sound so awesome.
Right.
Do you have a name for your Chat GPT?
Leo.
Leo. I like it. That's good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
and so more often than not, like I have this format, like the my guest today, please welcome my new friend, yada yada yada. My chat knows that that's what I like, so I often just copy what you said, paste it, and I say like, give it to me in my format, shorten it up a bit, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then I copy and paste it into this doc, and then I don't even read it.
Perfect.
So like I don't know anything about what you do, Melissa.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Like I don't do much research. I just kind of roll with it.
Let's
Because I want to learn along with the people listening.
Okay.
And like I have like bullet points that I prepare. And kudos to you, by the way. I think I gave you props on your show, but like you didn't have anything in front of you.
Yeah, no.
I thought that was so dope.
Nice.
So nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous. I want to get to that point too.
Oh.
But I just feel like a security blanket I'm a big security blanket kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I keep on bringing up different things and different points. So I've just lost like all the endings to all of those different little things. But all to say that the Brain Train Center, I knew you did that because that space is right next door to the space that we were at when we did your stuff. Like before we talk about the Brain Train stuff, I'm curious. So let's do a little origin story stuff. Okay, so like, where are you from originally? Parents, siblings? What were you like, growing up through high school? Like, what was did you go to college? Like, come and give me your kind of origin story.
Okay, cool. I'm born and raised San Diego, California. And everyone thinks like everyone from California is super rich and like, just had the whole greatest life.
And blue hair and
or blonde hair and blue eyes. I was born there. My mom's originally from Buckhead, so she was raised in a very rich family. And then in 1974, she got knocked up by a black man.
No way.
That's my sister who was born now.
I was like, really?
In 1974. So that's where the story's going is like in 1974, my sister was born who is mixed. We have same mom, different dads.
Okay.
And then my dad got her pregnant with my big brother. So I'm the youngest of three.
Okay.
And in 82, my mom and her best friend, who also was a white woman with a black child, took off to California with no money, no plan, no nothing. So they went to a homeless shelter in San Diego. And I guess my dad wasn't the best guy. He was a drug addict and followed her out there, got her pregnant. And I was born the next year in San Diego.
Wow.
Pretty much to a very broke woman with two other kids and on welfare, food stamps.
That's crazy that they've decided, and I love that they did it together, your mom and her friend.
Yeah.
Because doing that alone can be so overwhelming, but going and experiencing all of that new stuff, especially like going to like a homeless shelter, like that's a scary thing.
Right.
So to at least have someone there that you trust is really cool.
That was, I'm sure. I mean, I still think it was part of me is like, okay, I am who I am because of my mom's choices. And we could all be mad at our parents. My 15-year-old's mad at me all the time,
Of course. I'm mad at my parents all the time, too.
Yeah. And so I'm still, some things I'm like, God, I wish you would have done it differently because she was from a very well-off family that was there to support her. And my whole life I was told that they didn't want us around. So I didn't like grow up with cousins. Like we grew up just us, like small family. I didn't know any grandparents except for my one grandfather that lived here still. And I only like got cards from him or met him like 2 times when I was younger. So it was definitely, it was not the easiest upbringing. Like all I saw was like a lot of poverty and we lived in the hood. So I was the only white girl. They used to call me White Girl Melissa.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we were raised in like, I was raised by my big sister mainly. She's 9 years older than me. And my brother was getting in trouble in and out of juvie and all the things. And so I just watched all these people around me, like unhealthy mental health, just hustlers, grinders, paycheck to paycheck. And I just was like, I do not want to be like any of them. I had a stepdad who passed away when I was 15 he was a major alcoholic. And like we used to hide Listerine and hairspray because he would drink it.
Wow.
Like before going to school, my mom would be like, hey, did you hide it in the laundry basket? Like under, like that's what I was dealing with growing up.
I didn't even realize that you could get
drunk.
The substance that you'd need from
I
either
know,
of those. I've heard Listerine maybe is kind of on the edge.
Yeah.
But hairspray?
It was like really expensive hairspray, like the kind you screw open that my mom would get from the salon. And he would
drink it?
sometimes.
It can't taste good.
I know, right?
They got him
But
his
it's like,
fix, I guess.
yeah, I mean, he was a Vietnam vet. He was actually one of the smartest men I've ever met.
Wow.
So smart and a really good guy, but he was from tons of trauma. Now looking back in as an adult, I'm like, whew, that man had some trauma, like, right? Like, and I didn't understand it at 12, 13, 14. You know, I was just like, ugh, this new stepdad that is getting on my nerves and trying to be a parent to me. But really, he was a really great guy. So when he was sober, he was an electric engineer, and he worked on some of the very first cell phones out of
Wow.
Qualcomm cell phone, which turned to Sprint. Anyways, so for even though I was raised super poor, I ended up getting to go to Lutheran High School, which was a small private school in San Diego. My graduating class was only 15 people. The
Oh.
whole school, 9th through 12th grade, was 102 people.
Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was raised super Christian, actually Pentecostal, raised in all black churches where they were speaking in tongues,
Absolutely.
slain in the spirit.
Hey, if you've never been to a black church, highly recommend going because that shit
They're
will
fun.
will fire you up in a weird kind of way.
It's true. They do last a long time. I mean, like, 4 hours of church today. Here we go. Like, you know, it was like,
Yeah.
but my mom was raised Methodist and then became born again and, you know, raised us Pentecostal. And then I went to a Lutheran school. So I was very like super Christian.
Yeah.
Remember that movie with Mandy Moore? I think she was like super Christian girl and she was always trying to get all
Yeah.
That was like me. I was like trying to bring everyone to youth group with me, trying to save the Mexican gangsters in my neighborhood. Took them all to church with me.
Wow.
You know?
So really, besides church, it sounds like church was maybe one of the few lights in kind of a dark upbringing.
Yeah, but even so, now looking back, I'm like, dang, the people in that church, not to judge them or anything, they were all addicts and alcoholics. Like they found faith to overcome overcome their demons. But as a child, you're growing up around all of that. So the culture is still different than just like a regular, oh, let's go to church Sunday and feel good. This is like, oh man, people are getting like, you know, demons cast out of them because of the alcohol they drink, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
I know. It was crazy.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of your story. Do you think, I know this is your episode, but for your stepdad, do you think like the Vietnam War had an effect on why he eventually became an alcoholic?
Oh, for sure. That and his mom. I met her one time and
just a lot.
You know, when you just meet someone and you don't even have to say anything and their whole energy is just evil. Have you ever met that or seen that or felt that? And it's not even just negative, like pure evil.
Ugh, I don't know if I've ever met anyone that I thought was pure evil, but I have definitely met people that I'm just like
something off, right? Yeah.
I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character, even without having a full blown conversation with you. I could just shake your hand and think like,
right. Yeah. You got to trust your gut when it comes to that kind of thing. Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he had just so much trauma growing up. He had daughters my age that were taken away from him. And I don't know everything because I was so young. And I just, you know, when you're young teenager, do you really care about all that? I mean, you're not really paying attention. You're too into yourself.
You do, but like you don't at the same time. Like it's there and you know it, but you're also just like, whatever. And then you go off and like do your own teenage thing.
Yeah. So I went to Lutheran High School, and it was because of him that I was able to go, actually, because when he was sober, he got a really good paying job with the Qualcomm, like I said. And so he was paying the tuition for me to go. At the time, I think it was probably like $13,000-$14,000. But for my mom,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, she was working full time in the city of San Diego. And it was like, you know, probably back then she was probably making like 15 an hour, you know, it was like nothing. I will say one thing, even though we were raised in the hood, my mom did come from, you know, coming off welfare and food stamps and bought the house that I was raised in at like I was 12. And even though it was in the hood, everyone was telling her, like, don't move there. It's dangerous. Because there was like a crack house across the street. There were gang members, one side,
people
this
constantly
side.
In and out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was not a safe neighborhood at all. Any friends that like dropped me off, they're like, all right, get out of the car, bye. Like there were stabbings and shootings and, you know,
helicopters
all the
around.
time. So that's where I was raised. But that was normal to me. I was like, what are you guys talking? Why are you all nervous? I was doing Kool-Aid stands on the street. Like, it was amazing. But it was, and people, here's the thing about that culture too, though. Even though like I was a little white girl, everyone watched out for me. Like then even though like these two gangs across the street and next door, these members of opposite gangs hated each other, they all watched out for me. Like I was protected.
You're one of them.
Yeah. And I didn't judge them, and I loved them, and I showed them love no matter what, because I mean, and that came in the form of me inviting them to church with me, or just like inviting them into the house and having food with them, is like that was the culture that's one thing. My mom was very giving and, showed me how to do that.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, and I didn't grow up in this environment, so I can't speak to it, but I'm assuming that like with what you said about like how everybody looked out for you. I mean, there could be a war going on, but
Mhm.
if you cross the street, they all stop and let you cross the
Yeah.
street kind of
Right,
thing.
right, right.
So like it almost feels like from stories I've heard from others too that like if you're in poverty and if you're in poor, it doesn't matter what you look like,
Yeah.
what color skin you've got,
Right.
you're all in it together.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you're just hoping that one of you makes it out.
The struggle's real
And
either
so
way.
it's just kind of cool that, I mean, that they looked out for you like that.
Yeah, they did. They did. And that culture also is just everyone was a hustler, hardworking. Sometimes it was a hustle in illegal ways, not for me, but for the people around. Um, but it's like that work ethic. There was a meme recently, a lot of people were laughing about it. It was like, don't let like, wake up every morning and work like a crackhead, like,
Yeah,
'cause like a
I've seen
crackhead,
that.
something like that. I'm getting the words wrong, but that's the reality is, like, when you want something bad enough, you wake up and you work for it, and that in the way I was raised, that's what I saw growing up.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little. So you go to this private high school, right?
Yeah.
And so you get out of high school. At what point does the pivot to Georgia come, or is it still far, far away? Or do you spend
It's
a
so
lot more
far
time
away.
in
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Diego?
Yeah, yeah. I went to San Diego State
Okay,
College. I was the first one in my family to go to college.
amazing.
Yeah. I did not finish at San Diego State because I was always working. So I worked before I started high school. My very first job was we have a beach in San Diego called Mission Beach, and it has a big roller coaster. It's where all the tourists go.
Mhm.
And they have like the little seashell boats, and tourists come up and buy shells and necklaces. So at 14 years old, legally was able to work. I got a work permit before high school started, and I worked all summer. I would ride the city bus an hour and a half to go to work. My mom didn't. My mom was at work, so like I was on my own. I was riding the city bus all around San Diego since I was 12. So on my
Wow.
own, because before private school, I went to public school and it was in the nice neighborhood. So we had to ride an hour and a half to go to the nice area.
So was work something that your mom had told you that you had to do, or was this a
No,
you thing?
that was a me thing. Yeah, I wanted my own stuff. Like my mom didn't have money to buy me stuff. So if I wanted to buy the cool shoes like everyone else I had to figure
Work
out how to
for
make
it.
money for it. Yeah, yeah. So that was my first job, and then my second job was when I started high school. I worked for Lids, the
Yeah,
cap store
yeah.
in the mall. I worked in the downtown San Diego mall called Horton Plaza. It was like famous mall that everyone went to. It was like 6-story mall. So I worked there all through high school. I played basketball, ran cross country, and then I also created a missionary trip every year to go to Mexico. So there was always one week during that like a Christmas break time, and everyone at the school had to do something during that week, whether it's like driver's ed, somewhere around town where you go volunteer. But I created with my Spanish teacher to go down to this place called Campo de Sueños, and we went every year to go build like a schoolhouse. It was like to the poorest part of Mexico. And then we would go obviously talk to them about the Lord and
Sure.
yeah. So we did that. Like they actually almost kicked me out of school when my stepdad died because my mom couldn't afford it. And because I was so active in like bringing things to the school, like the missionary trip, the board of directors got together and they paid for my tuition
That's
for the
amazing.
last 2 years.
So had you just been like just another number on a spreadsheet there,
Yeah.
they easily would have been like, all right, you're gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But since you were so involved in
Mhm.
bringing not even just opportunities, but you were just involved. You
Yeah.
weren't just a kid going to school.
No, I mean, I ran the chapel almost like once a month. Someone was allowed to like run the chapel because we had to have chapel every Wednesday. And so I would like preach. I am super not Christian anymore.
No? What happened?
Have you heard of like toxic religious
Oh, yeah.
trauma?
I was raised in the Catholic Church.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think it's not that I don't believe. It's just like when I got more into science and stuff, it's not that like I don't believe there's something. It's just
Mm.
I was forced into that religion because that's how my mom was getting through her life. So it was like anything else, yoga, Buddhism, anything like that was of the devil. Like,
Wow.
literally, you should not do yoga because it's of the devil. So it's
Wow.
like when you start to, like, educate yourself more and you realize, like, what are you talking about? Like,
So
that's
she was like the kind of Christian that ruined it for everyone else, kinda, that the ones
Yes.
that people that don't believe in God are just like, "Oh my God," because Christians are crazy, like, about their rules and
Mhm.
regulations and stuff, but, like,
Yeah.
most Christians aren't like that. There's
True.
probably a percentage of them that are like that hard
Yeah.
Christian lifestyle, like,
Mhm.
know this, know that. I grew up in the Catholic Church, and similarly, I mean, I don't identify as a Catholic today because when we were kids, like, religion was just something that was we were told was gonna happen. We were
That's it.
told to go to church and,
Mhm.
whatever. I live under their house, I had to follow their rules.
Sure.
But I always said, like, all throughout growing up and through high school, I was like, "I'm never going to church again. I am never when I am an adult, I will never go to church."
Yeah.
That has not come through,
Right.
because faith is very important to my
Yeah.
lovely wife. The Catholic Church, like, we don't go to a Catholic church
Right.
anymore. And,
Right.
like, even I still kinda like, my parents every once in a while will say, like, "Let's go to Christmas Eve mass or something." I'm just like,
Mhm.
"No, I'm
No.
not going."
Good.
Because it's not like no priest took me back behind the scenes or
Well,
nothing,
that's
but
good. That's
because
good.
I know they have that reputation. But
Yeah.
I mean, it just the rules and like the
Mhm.
mindset of, if you drink, before you're 21, you're an asshole. If you have
Yeah, you're
sex
gonna go
before
to
you're married, you're
hell.
going to
Yeah,
hell.
yeah, yeah.
If you're
Same.
gay, you're going to hell. Like a
Same.
bunch of things that I was just like, I just don't believe all of that
Right.
personally.
Right.
Um,
And it seems so judgmental. It's like you're supposed
it
to love
is.
everyone and you're just judging everyone. You're
Right.
just sitting there acting like you're better than everyone
Right.
behind the Bible verses.
Sorry to our Christian
I
friends out
know,
there, but
sorry. I'll go on a
sometimes
whole
it
rant.
feels like it's like, "Oh, we love everybody," but the second you
Uh-huh.
do something we don't agree with, we will
Yeah,
shun you.
absolutely.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I struggled with religion for the longest time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've come back around to it, but I almost think of it in a different way. Like, when you're
Yeah.
a Catholic, like Jesus and God were, like, the answer to all everything. And
Mhm.
the church we go to now, like, kinda takes real world things and, like, applies different ways that, like, the Bible has similar outcomes that, like, today we have.
Lessons.
It kind of
Yes.
blends to the 2 together in a way that's really graspable for
Mhm.
someone who struggled with religion for so long.
Right.
Like, the first time I went, I remember getting out of it and thinking, like, that is so day and night different than Catholic Church.
Mhm.
It's yeah, no disrespect to the Catholic folks,
No.
but I
Or the
just
Pentecostals.
I just realized it just wasn't for me.
And to be able to find like, I have 2 daughters, and I talk to them about this. My 7-year-old asks, like, "How was the world made? Who were the first humans?" And I say, "Well, this is what I was taught, but there's a lot of religions that believe their story is the truth, and to be honest, who knows?" That's why
Nobody.
it's called faith. You
Nobody
you are
knows,
literally believing without seeing. I mean, that takes a lot.
which I do struggle with that still.
I do too now that I've learned a lot of science stuff, and I'm like, it is great to have faith in something, especially if it helps you through your life. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I saw, like, all the people that were addicted or alcoholics and they're finding peace finally through their faith, great. Like, I'm not gonna hate on that. That's you, but that doesn't mean I have to do it
Sure.
or that my children have to be forced to do it. And so with all that said, it's it's good. I mean, I just I believe in something. I have on my arm, which is one of my best friend's aunt who passed away, and my best friend has it on her arm, is trust in the universe. And the universe, I mean, we think just the
The universe
universe,
is
but
greater than you and I are.
exactly.
So, I mean, I feel like as long as you believe in some kind of something that's bigger than yourself,
Y
then that's cool,
And it
because I
feels
I
good.
struggle with it too. I mean, I went through a phase in college where I was just like, I thought everything from a scientific perspective of
Yeah.
like, well, there's no way that, like, when my parents were raising us, they said, well, like, God and Jesus, they created everything.
Right, right,
They
right.
created the roads that you drive on. And I was like, bullshit, humans created that.
Right. Oh, but God gave them the
Right,
knowledge to do
right.
it.
So, like,
Like,
I was
come
like,
on.
"Well, they went to trade school," and, like, and so, like, it's easy
Yeah.
to go down this wormhole of, like, "Really?"
Really?
But,
But
like,
it's good to
yes, but
question.
somehow the Earth got here.
Somehow,
Somehow.
and even science doesn't know, and that's why science always says this is a theory,
Right,
right? You don't have faith in science. It's theories, and theories are always
right.
tested and proven and actually proven. Is that the right word? I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
But, like that's what is more attractive to me.
I just think it's cool to be open-minded. I mean,
Yeah.
to think about things through a couple different lenses. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So much to learn.
There is.
So much.
And it's also fascinating. Like, I love even like reading, or like I listen to Joe Rogan here and there, and he'll have these people on from that practice other religions, and they'll talk about their religion. And I'm always fascinated to listen to these other religions and just think like, oh, well, that's similar to Christianity, and that's similar to Catholicism. And it's like, they're all so similar, but there's only like one or two things that like get tweaked for each religion, and boom, a new religion.
Yeah.
But I always thought like the Catholic Church was a cult when I was growing up, because it was like, oh my God, we're all going to stand and join hands and say the Our Father. And like, when we brought my parents finally last year to this church that me and my wife go to, my mom was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about it. We didn't get to say Our Father who art in heaven.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, Mom, it's a different kind of church. There's a band on stage and they're playing songs, and it's just a little different.
And prayers are a little different. They're more free and
not
from
like
your heart.
not like Shakespeare wrote them, because that's how Catholic Church is. Is like, oh.
I have to tell you a story about a Catholic church I went to as a teenager. So I'd never been to a Catholic church. I've only was raised in Pentecostal churches. And when you do communion, everyone could do communion at a Pentecostal church, because they're asking Jesus in their heart. They're becoming born again. And so you could have communion, wash away all your sins with the communion. And the wine is juice, because we have a lot of alcoholics in our congregation. So my friend invites me to the Catholic church, and then it's time that day for communion. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to take communion. I always take communion. So I get up and I walk down the aisle like everybody else, not knowing what the hell I'm doing. And the guy, like, I guess they put it either on your tongue or in your in your hand.
You always go up.
Okay, so I watched people do that. So I was like, okay, I'll put my hand out, and he put it in, and I eat the little disgusting cracker.
Yeah.
Then
so gross.
And then it's the big goblet thingy.
And you're just like, oh.
I went to go grab it from him, and I didn't know it was wine either.
Yeah.
And so he's like, no. And so he like tips it for me. I'm like,
yeah. It's weird for sure. I mean, like, I even like when I did this, I knew, I was like, oh, that's not right. Because I always used to say to myself as a kid, right over left. When I got up to the front.
I didn't even know.
Because
I think I put it side by side.
Oh yeah, right over left.
Shoot, I had no idea.
And you'd go up there like before you were of age to do communion, because then you have to go through first communion. You have to go through. There's another one, confirmation. You had to go through to be able to get to the point where you're a full-fledged member of the church.
I don't think they should have let me take communion.
No, probably not. And so, like, as a kid, when you go up, you still go up there, but we always had to do this or something.
Oh,
either that, or it was either like this, Wakanda Forever. It was either that or
down here covering.
It's fine. I already made the Catholic priest joke earlier. Yeah, I think it was like, I feel like it was like this.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna see my parents tonight and be like, hey, when we went up to communion, was it this? Or sometimes I felt like it was just like, fold your hands and have them by your. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to ask my parents tonight when I see them.
Okay.
They're like, hey, I think it was this. Or like you would have your hands on your shoulders like this. I don't know. It's all weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll, one day my parents are like, I was like 10. They're like, you can take the wine if you want. I was like, really? And I was like, is it really wine? And they're like, I don't know. And of course.
Find out.
Yeah.
And then you were knocked out.
Like, I'm not taking that ever again.
Serious.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, speaking of wine, Melissa, before we keep going, I want to tell you and the lovely folks listening about one of the partners of Your Morning Drive. Can I tell you about them?
Yes.
Guys, for a couple years now, we've been supported by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink format to meet the need for a quality pre-mixed cocktail in a can for any occasion. You can try their beverages anywhere in Georgia and some other states they're expanding into, but they were born out of Marietta.
Cool.
I happen to have an empty can right there.
See
they
that.
have a few flavors. That one is the whiskey one, which is called the Heater because it's 8.5%. It'll get you where you're going real quick.
Just one can.
Just one can will just get you there. But, spring and summer, they're perfect drinks for a pool. They've got a vodka lime, a vodka cranberry, a gin gimlet. They've got all kinds of classic cocktail flavors that anyone can enjoy. And they've supported Your Morning Drive for several years now. So we love to support them back. So if you're interested in finding out where they're sold near you, you can go to their website, go to their locations tracker, type in your zip code and find out where they're sold near you. Of course, you need to be 21 to purchase and consume it. Okay, so before we went off on our church tangent.
Yeah. I went to college.
Went to college. Didn't finish college because you were always working.
I was working like 3 jobs. I was a cocktail waitress. I was working for chiropractors. I always wanted to be a chiropractor since I was in high school. I love natural therapy, chiropractic. We went to a chiropractor. My mom, when I was young, worked for one, I remember. And I just loved him. So yeah, I always wanted to be a chiropractor. So I went to San Diego State and I was going to get a nutrition major. And then, like I said, I was just like working all the time. So the only class I ever actually went to, I learned to speak Mandarin Chinese.
Wow.
And I went to my Chinese class. It was every day. It was a small class. It was like being back in high school in that small class instead of the 500-person history class that I skipped all the time. I'm like, they're not going to know I'm gone. And then I failed because you actually have to sign in and do work and stuff. And so I didn't fail completely out of college, but I did end up like kind of quitting because I needed to survive and make money. My mom actually kept her house in San Diego, but moved back out here to be with my grandfather at the time. So I was I had moved out with a boyfriend, moved back in my mom's house, blah, blah, blah. And then she came here. And so I was in her house kind of taking care of it. Luckily, I didn't have to pay rent. So that was helpful, but I still paid like bills. I had car payments, everything else besides rent. So I was grateful for that. And then at some point, I'm like, she came back. I was like, I don't want to live with you. So I'm going to move back out. And I moved by myself down by the beach. So I was working multiple jobs just so I could have my studio by the beach, like literally 3 blocks from the beach.
That's
it was
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I would get off work from the chiropractor and I had a beach cruiser. I'd go watch the sunset and then I get ready to go cocktail waitress, downtown. Wow. So I still like took every moment I could to enjoy my environment and partied a lot. I went to San Diego State. So I was like working and then spent all my money partying.
Of course. But you had to have money to party.
You had to. So my mom ended up coming back out here for my grandfather. And I met a guy in Las Vegas because I had gone for a hair show. I was a model in a hair show and they turned me from blonde to bright red. It was really beautiful color, actually. And I loved it. But I met some dude there in Vegas and fell in love. Mm. He was a local of Vegas. He was a quick talker. He was a timeshare sales guy on the Strip.
Oh, boy.
Very quick.
Tough job there.
Right.
No one's talking about timeshares on the Strip.
Right. Well, he did a great job. I mean, he made lots of money, spent it all gambling, but he became actually physically and mentally abusive. And so when it got too much physical abuse.
Physically too?
Uh-huh. I was young. He was older than me, not by like tons of years, but I was in my 20s and he was like early 30s, 23. So it became abusive. And like all my friends had already like kind of gotten married, started to get married, moved away. My one good friend moved to Hawaii where she was from. And my other friends were like, one went off to Vietnam to be a teacher for a little bit. So like my closest friends that were there throughout high school and college had all kind of made the lives for themselves. And I was making poor choices. Going to Vegas, being with this guy, I, got rid of my studio. And pretty much it was like I was very insecure and I was looking for love. And so he saw that and he jumped on it. And my one friend actually bought me a plane ticket, a one-way. I would go from Vegas to San Diego, drive back and forth. Every time we would get in a fight, I'd pack up my stuff and drive back to San Diego and stay at my mom's house that was empty. And so finally my friend was like, you need to go visit your mom. I got you a one-way ticket. You need to go. And so she got me a ticket. And I came here with the dog that he bought me for my birthday, which was a Cocker Spaniel named Shady, who's now passed away, but best dog ever, and a suitcase. And I came here planning to just visit like for a month or whatever, and I just restarted my whole life over. I had nothing, no car, no job, no money, just a suitcase and a dog. And my mom was here, so I had a place to stay, luckily. But of course, like I didn't want to live with her. So within like 3 months, I moved out, and because I found a job immediately when I got here. I was a cocktail waitress. And I was like, I guess I should enroll in chiropractic school since that's what I want to do. So I did that.
So that was all. Were you staying with her in Buckhead?
Yes.
Is that where she was?
My grandfather's home, and he was in assisted living, and then he ended up passing away about a year after I was here.
I'm sorry.
So. Yeah, it's okay. He had a very good life. He went to Georgia Tech, real smart man.
Now, you said that was her dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Only grandparent I've ever met or known.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was a great guy, but they ended up selling the house and now it's some big mansion in Buckhead, but it used to be one of those small red brick homes that my mom was raised in.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then I moved out and moved to Marietta and enrolled in school and got a little apartment. And
Wow.
yeah,
So your friend was like, I got you a one-way ticket. That's
go.
so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, do you talk to her at all still?
We
Here and
were,
there?
yeah. Yeah, we were business partners and had a little falling out, but it's okay.
Well, even regardless of the falling out, she still saw a need and needed to get you out of your
Yeah.
situation. And she did you the ultimate favor. And had she not done that, you might still be there.
I know. Who knows? I could have been dead. I mean, it got really bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I won't
Thank
pry
you.
on that.
No,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you pack it up. Well, not even that. You grabbed your suitcase and
And the
your
dog.
ticket and the dog,
Yeah.
and you moved here. You moved
Yep.
out, moved to Marietta, enrolled in chiropractic school.
I did.
And so, did you finish chiropractic school?
So I actually needed to finish some prereqs first. So I finished my bachelor's, and then I did enroll in chiropractic school. I had actually fallen in love with a rugby player at Life University, and he's amazing. He's the father of my 2 girls.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And we were together for 13 years. We're divorced now, and he's remarried, and I'm in a new relationship for over 2 years now too. But we met in physics class and fell in love, and a year into our relationship, I got pregnant. Whoops.
Nice.
And so that's how it all started. Like, I actually enrolled in chiropractic school when I got my prereqs, started chiropractic school. I was pregnant the whole time. I did a year and a half of chiropractic. And when I got to the courses where we actually had to start touching people, I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. I'm not doing it. So I unenrolled. So no, I'm not a chiropractor. And I did not finish.
Wow. I love, first of all, that you said that you fell in love with like a lovely man and the
Yeah.
father of your children.
Yeah.
Do you guys still co-parent
Oh, yeah.
well and still on good terms?
Yes. I mean, we
Good
have
enough terms to parent?
Yes. Our divorce was not ugly or nasty or anything. We actually used one attorney and just paid the paper fees, and it was very simple, and we really should have just always been good friends and had beautiful daughters. Like, we're from very different backgrounds. It doesn't mean that we couldn't have made it work. It's just like we were young and got pregnant, and then it's like everyone around you is saying, well, you should get married. Now, we did wait till Mila, our oldest, was 5 years old to get married, and then had our second after we got married. So we were together for quite a while before we got married, and then married for 6 years.
You get out of chiropractic school.
Yeah,
You're donezo there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before I dig into that more, I want to tell you about another one of my friends, Melissa.
Okay.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Guys, Melissa, you know as well as I do, you do a lot of networking, as do I. And you know that we've all been to these golf tournaments or networking events where they give you a little goodie bag and then you'll open it up and 9 out of the 10 things in there you just throw away.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of not useless, but just crappy, not
Same
good
old
quality, same old stuff. Well,
Yeah.
if your guys are looking to upgrade your businesses or your brands, swag, I have your solution. I've been working with these people myself for a couple years. They make all of my shirts and hats and hoodies and jackets, as well as these lovely Your Morning Drive coffee mugs.
Love it.
So they have the technology to put your logo on absolutely anything that you want. Good family right out of Harley, Georgia, local business, lovely people. So with all that said, if you want to level up your company's merch game, go to their website, brandedanddevoted.designs.com. And if you tell them that I sent you, they'll give you 10% off your order. So go ahead and make that leap over to Branded and Devoted Designs, and they will hook you up like they have for me.
Nice.
So we've got, I'm sorry, ADHD.
It's okay.
Where was I?
I did not finish chiropractic.
Yes.
I quit.
Yes.
Quit chiropractic.
You quit school.
It's okay to quit.
It is okay to quit.
Because if you're not passionate about it, it's like if you have a job you don't like, quit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, it's that easy. Find another job.
It is.
Find something you enjoy.
It is.
Right. So I quit.
No one deserves to be unhappy.
Right. And you get to choose that.
And we spend more time at work than we do with our families.
Right.
So you might as well be happy.
Exactly.
Because if you're not, you'll bring that shit home with you.
That's right. Many people do. We all do. Even if you own a business, sometimes it's a stressful day.
It's
you bring
a tough
it home.
day
It's
sometimes.
tough. Yeah. So my experience was always either cocktail waitress or work for chiropractors because, like I said, I wanted to always be one. So I started working for him since I was 19. So I was like, well, I'm going to apply for this chiropractic job in Norcross. And I got it. And they hired me as their front desk person and then some back office stuff. And then I was like, hey, what's that room with the brain stuff you guys do? Like, what is that? and they told me all about what neurofeedback therapy is and what it looks like when you do a recording of someone's brain. So I started to learn more and more about it as I was working for them. And then they let me become one of the neurofeedback technicians. And I also became the marketing person for them. So I got to go out and set up booths and look for networking events. So I was like learning how to run a business while working for them, not knowing. I was just enjoying it so much. I loved it. I loved seeing the change in people. I loved getting out of the office and networking and telling everyone about it. And so I was really like, had the great opportunity to start learning how to do it from a business standpoint. And they didn't even realize that that's what they were letting me do, I think, you know? And so I worked for them for 2 years. I doubled their business where they actually moved the neurofeedback into a standalone office and opened a second room because it got so busy with my efforts. And after about 2.5 years, I was like, listen, I was 30. I was like, I'm going to go do this on my own, like 30 miles from you, because they were in Norcross. I was like, I'm going to move back to Marietta and I'm going to open an office over there. So I did. I didn't have any money though.
And so this office, was this an extension of theirs or was this
No.
Brain Train?
All mine. It was called something else when I first started. It was called Brain Core. That was like the software that
but you
I
rebranded
used.
over
But
to
yeah.
Brain
It was
Train.
completely 100% my own office. And I went and rented a little room out of a chiropractor that I knew in Marietta. And I started my business. I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, I was making $17 an hour and I had a 3-year-old daughter, and my husband at the time was playing professional rugby, which sounds awesome, but they only get paid when they're on tour, like $100 a day. So it's really
they're not being paid like
they're not NFL
Julio
players.
Jones.
Yeah. So, I had no money. So guess what I did? I actually re-enrolled at Life University so I could get the student loan check.
Really?
And then I took the student loan check and I started my business.
Is that legal?
I don't know.
Well,
it's resourceful.
As long as they don't ask questions.
Yeah, as long as I pay it back. I mean, who cares what I do with it? It was for living costs. So whatever I use for living. I mean, people were buying cars with their student loan checks.
Oh, well then
Yeah.
I mean, you at least invested in starting a business versus buying a Ferrari.
Right.
Which,
it was only like $4,000. $4,000 enough to get me through the first 2 months of owning the business.
Wow, but that's cool because then you started out with that buffer.
Yeah, a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my credit wasn't good enough to get a loan or anything. I mean, I started with $4,000. So that's how it all started. Down in Marietta, 1 mile west of Marietta Square.
So it was Brain Core, and then eventually you rebranded to Brain Train.
Yeah.
So you started Brain Train.
Yeah.
And now it's got like 14, 15 locations.
Well, at one point it had 22 locations. Yeah, we had 10 in Texas, 2 in Hawaii, 2 in San Diego, Oklahoma. And then remember I mentioned I had a little falling out with some friends.
Sure.
That's because they didn't want to pay me my branding fee. So they decided they want to go behind my back and start their own company. But, that's how it goes. It's okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did start Brain Train. I started it almost 14 years ago.
Wow.
And it evolved. It did not become Brain Train until like right around COVID.
Okay.
I rebranded it.
Okay.
And
was there a reason why?
Well, real quick, yeah, I went from like one little standalone, and then I had a full wellness center, which I called Be Wellness, and it was a full center with chiropractors, acupuncture, all this. And then when I closed that down, I was like, I'm going to rebrand to simplify again, just neurofeedback.
Okay.
And the standard was that I would go, like, as when I first started, go rent a room in an office that's already going, that already has people coming in.
Sure.
And that's how I rebranded. And actually it was right at COVID, and my business like picked up like crazy during that time because of all the mental health.
Yeah. I was going to say the business like that benefited from COVID because like we went from in February of 2020, we went from never mentioning the words mental health to April of 2020, where it was an everyday conversation.
Everything.
It's crazy how that switch just flipped.
Yeah.
No one talked about it.
Yeah, because it became normal to talk about. Like everyone was dealing with the same.
Everyone was lonely.
Depression, isolation, all of it. Anxiety.
So crazy how these little moments in our lives, like, when you zoom out and look at like the history books and see like, oh, well, that's why mental health became what it is today.
Normal to talk about. Yeah. Which is great.
I love that it's like that.
Yeah, me too. And maybe we'll get into that discussion. We probably will. Sometimes it's gotten so much talked about that it's like, I hate to say this, but sometimes it's even used as an excuse sometimes.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
It's okay to say that.
No, it's okay to say that. I think people know that, some companies, they offer like mental health days, like these corporations do. And I feel like it's easy for someone to wake up with a headache and be like, I'm taking a mental health day.
Right. Instead of just being a little uncomfortable and pushing through, because you got to have some grit.
Right.
And that's what I'm seeing with the younger generations. Like, there's no grit. There's no like hustle. Not all of them. I don't want to blanket statement.
And maybe I'm a part of the problem sometimes because like when I get sick, like ill, like strep or the flu, like when I get like a tummy ache, it's
your
the
wife
end of
has
the
to
world.
take care of you for
God,
the
it's the
3
worst.
days.
Oh, I got sick like 3 or 4 days before Christmas this past year.
Yeah.
And dude, I was down and out for like 4 days.
Yeah. And it was
but I get sick once a year. No. It was
bad.
I got a stomach bug. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
I know that was going around actually.
Oh, it was horrible.
Luckily, it didn't hit us.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah,
because
I heard it was really bad.
It was horrible, man. But yeah, like people now, I feel like use it as a crutch.
Yes.
When we shouldn't always use it as a crutch.
No.
Because there's people out there that really suffer.
Right.
And just kind of feels like we're like undermining like what the real suffering is by saying, oh, I just need a mental health day. No, I'm just going to say, I just need a day off. I just need a break.
That's it. That's okay.
That's not saying that you need a mental health day.
You're not having a mental breakdown. You just need a break.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how Brain Train started. And
Wow.
3.5 years ago is when I started licensing the company. So I had grown it. And then I was actually like starting to open up in other states. Like I opened in St. Augustine, Florida. I opened one in Delaware. I was like traveling on my own and going to these other states. I would go do a scan, which we'll talk about. And then I would rent out units for people to use. And then I go back again and do a rescan. And
so then if there's enough of a demand in those little pockets, that prompted you to make the decision of like, okay, well, we could open up a place here.
Yeah. That's what I did do. And then it just became too much just for me to do. And I was like, well, how can I spread the news and the education about neurofeedback therapy without me having to run all of it? And I spoke to a business coach and he's like, have you looked into like either franchising or licensing? He's like, look into the Chick-fil-A model, see how they do it and pick and pull like what you like from it, because franchising is very expensive for both the person that's selling them and buying them. And I was like, well, I don't want to franchise. It was like 150,000, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but licensing looks good. And licensing gives more freedom to the person that's buying in. So they own it 100%. They use my brand, my business brand, my everything,
your
operating
ads, procedures,
all of it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so
the
I
graphics
provide
that
them.
you've made over the years.
Yeah.
You have a vault of stuff you just give them when they start.
And then I coach them and train them how to do it. And so then here you go. And so there's like a little branding fee and stuff like that. And there's a buy-in, but it's a lot less than a franchise. So
they're buying in, there's a buy-in fee, there's a branding fee that they pay month by month or year by year, whatever.
Yep.
And then it's on them to go and find a space to do it.
Yep. And I always recommend to them, like, hey, go look for a chiropractor, a counselor, a wellness center that has a room for rent.
Sure.
Low overhead.
Added
already
benefit.
Built in, right? Already built in clients and customers coming in. And if you have a good relationship with that provider, they're going to refer people and you refer them people. And it's beautiful. So that's what almost all of them did. There's a couple that just kind of opened on their own in like a standalone, kind of like my place in Acworth. But you got to be a lot more into networking and marketing to be able to do that standalone.
So you're running this organization now by yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have people helping?
Yeah. Like my boyfriend, he's learning more about the industry because he comes from music, art, and audio engineer, things like that. So this is different, except when we talk about hertz and amplifiers and impedance and stuff. So he understands that stuff, but we're talking about that with the brainwaves versus sound. But he has a background also in like corporate training, and his mom is also a corporate coach for businesses to help employees and businesses come together. And so for me, like my whole background was hustle, grind, figure it out. So even when I went and worked jobs, I didn't ask for help from like my leaders or managers, I was like, oh, I'll just figure it out. And it looked to them as if I was taking initiative, which I was. But nowadays, it's like people need direction. Like what I'm realizing is people need training, they need direction, and I'm not good at that. And so that's where he comes in and helps.
So you've got one other staff member here in Georgia. Your boyfriend helps you with things here and there. His mom might add value here and there.
Yeah.
But you're running this organization by yourself. So, I mean, how do you guys all stay on the same page? Do you all have like a monthly Zoom where you
Yes.
guys powwow and talk about what's happening in the market and
Yes,
all that
exactly.
stuff?
So I'm available for all, they're called licensees. I call them partners sometimes, even though we're not like business
I would
partners in
probably
that
call
way.
'em.
So they have access to me. Like if they want to get on a one-on-one call 2 times a month, they just go on my calendar and, spend some time. And that's
Book the
usually
time,
like,
yeah.
we'll talk about maybe some clinical things, like a client that they're seeing that might be a little bit more difficult, changes that they're wanting to see. And then I do a monthly call that they all can jump on if they're available. And we'll talk about everything from like how to read certain maps, brain information, or we'll talk about marketing, what's worked. Hey, here's this company. Like recently I found that we could partner with the VA on an outside like companion care, which they cover services like ours outside of the insurance. So we have to apply and sign up. So things like that. I'm always trying to find value to add for the licensees and partners.
Sure. That makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, so now I want you to do me a favor. I want you to break down as easy as possible, like you're talking to to a 5-year-old, what it is that when people walk through your doors, what actually is occurring.
Perfect.
There.
Easy. I've been practicing this.
Talk about guidance. I need guidance on what the
All
heck
right.
we're talking about. Neurological this and feedback that,
Yeah.
and like I need to know dummy version.
Dummy words.
What
Okay.
does that all mean?
So you know how you keep saying like ADHD, right? Everyone says they have ADHD. Everyone does have focus and attention issues, but
Sure.
people like you might be someone that calls my office. Like, I feel like I can't focus. My memory's not, it's getting worse. I can't sleep. I have some anxiety. I have some negative moods, like feeling kind of disassociated, kind of depression type moods. These are the type of people that are calling me, or they're calling me about a child of theirs, right? My child is getting in trouble in school, definitely has ADHD, blah, blah, blah. And I say to them, okay, well, our first step is, first of all, I don't diagnose. We assess how is the brain functioning. So we put this funky, like swim cap looking thing. I should have brought it to show, but funky swim cap has a bunch of sensors in it. I put ultrasound gel into the holes of the sensors and we record your brain activity because your brain has electricity in it. Did you know that?
I did not know.
They're called brain waves because they're literally hertz. They're hertz patterns in your brain. If you could screw a light bulb into your head, your brain could light up the light bulb. That's how much electricity you have in your brain.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's cool. So those are your brain waves. We could record it just like we could record the waves of your heartbeat. So we record your brain activity. You've probably seen on movies of people in the hospitals getting sleep studies.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do, but in our office. And we're not looking to do a sleep study or diagnose. We are looking to see which area of the brain is firing too fast and which area is firing too slow. That's the easiest way to understand it.
And then, so let's just say I come in there, we do the thing, we get the results of what area is going too fast, what area is going too slow. What then would your patient or client or whatever you call them, what would they do with that information?
Okay. So that information, like I said, it's not diagnosis, but it is an assessment to show like, well, first, let me clarify this. Like ADHD, do you know it? Here, I just put it on my Facebook yesterday. When you think of ADHD, do you think your brain is going too fast or too slow?
Sometimes I think it's too fast. Is it the opposite?
Absolutely the
Wow.
opposite. Do you know why?
No.
Because when people get hyperactive or they get like, oh, squirrel or like whatever, it's because their brain is in la la land and then it gets like sidetracked and it's like do, and then it needs stimulation. Actually, ADHD meds are methyl drugs, right? So they're stimulant drugs.
Wow, so they speed everything up.
They speed your brain up because your fast activity of the brain helps you focus. So when you are trying to focus, read, do emails, whatever, learn new things, your brain should be in fast processing, not slow. So people with true classic ADHD, their brain, especially in the frontal lobe, is working too slow.
Interesting. I would have never guessed.
I know.
Never would have guessed. But that makes sense. The way you break it down with medicine, of course, medicine is supposed to get that hamster running a little quicker.
Yes. Yes.
To
And
make everything
focus in.
catch up and focus.
Right.
Huh.
So again, like I said, like I can't diagnose, but I could show someone on what's called a brain map, because when we do a recording, the scientific term is quantitative electroencephalogram, which means that we're taking electric signals and recording it from the brain encephalogram. And so we put it into a database, and then it comes up with this colorful picture of the electricity in your brain. So it'll actually show areas of the brain that are really high patterns of activity or really low patterns. And so depending where that shows up, that correlates to the symptoms that the person's experiencing. So for example, if someone has anxiety, their brain is stuck in fast processing. So then they take an anti-anxiety
Things are going
med.
too fast, so it doesn't give them the chance to
calm down. Right. So they're going to be over aroused. They're going to be in fight or flight. They're going to not be able to sleep good. They're going to be irritable and anxious and have panic attacks. And then there's one in between called alpha brainwave. And when there's too much or too little of that, it's like disassociation, depression. It puts you into like a brain fog. A lot of people that smoke weed actually have really high patterns of this. So yeah, it's really cool information. So they take the information that I go over the results with them. I make sure to always say, I'm not diagnosing, but here's why you might be feeling this way, because your brain is stuck in this gear. Think of it almost like a transmission, like first through fourth.
Sure.
So if you're stuck in fourth gear going down dirt roads, that's not good,
No,
right?
no, you're screwed.
And the opposite, if you're in first gear on the freeway, like you're screwed, right? Like your brain should be able, a healthy brain should be able to shift between these speeds at the appropriate time. So when it's time to fall asleep, your brain should go into slow patterns. When it's time to focus, your brain should go into fast patterns. But different ages have different amounts of these brain waves. Babies naturally have more slow wave activity. That's why they sleep so much, because their brain is growing and healing, growing and healing, growing and healing. So it's normal for babies and kids to take naps and not be as focused. Like 5-year-olds have a lot of slow wave activity naturally. They should not be put on stimulant drugs, in my opinion. I think it's disgusting that our society puts as young as 3 years old on stimulant drugs.
That's weird.
Horrible.
I hope I don't know anybody that does that.
Luckily, I don't know anyone personally, but I've seen people, like I'm in a bunch of ADHD groups and all this, because it's just so misinformed. So many people are so misinformed, and so many people say, oh, I have such an ADHD. I'm so ADHD. And reality is they could have even had a brain injury, which is causing focus issues, and they have no idea.
Yeah, I do. I throw out that ADHD thing oftentimes as a joke, but sometimes I wonder if I never was, because I've always had attention problems. Sure. There was a phase that I thought I had maybe ADD.
Yeah.
But I was just never diagnosed with any of it. But my brother had severe ADHD and diagnosed and took medication for it.
Yeah.
And it helped. But as he got older, he was like, I'm not taking my meds. And it often like sparked fights with my parents, because they're like, take your damn medicine. This is why you're feeling the way you are.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against medicine, but if there are therapies and ways to correct the cause without medicine, that's what I'm all for, especially for children. Because there's also been proof that, and research that people starting very young on a stimulant drug, when they do get older and decide to come off, sometimes they look for other ways to medicate.
Fix,
right? Because it is a methyl drug. I mean, it is. So it's like one chemical bond different than street meth.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
I know. And here's the thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Daniel Amen with the Amen Clinics. He's a world-renowned psychiatrist, right? So he could prescribe meds. He started his whole career in the Army, and he found this thing called SPECT scans, which is a level up from what I do. I do what's called QEEGs. He does SPECT scans, which is like an MRI and a QEEG put together. So it shows blood flow and electric signals in the brain. So it could show like brain trauma, like traumatic brain injuries. It could show depression, and he could diagnose using these scans. And it's like way out there for the psychiatric world to actually look at the brain before giving meds. Nobody does that. People like if you had like a weird feeling in your heart, you're going to go to a heart doctor and get it checked, right? If we get a weird feeling in our brain, like feeling sad, depressed, anxious, why don't we go get our brain looked at? Wouldn't that make sense?
It would.
Right.
I would honestly be willing to bet that maybe 90 is dramatic, maybe 80% of people don't realize that there are places like yours that
Right.
exist.
It's true.
And it's just a matter of, like you said, like with the marketing piece of it, it's just education. A
Yeah.
lot of it is education.
It is.
It's not even marketing from like trying to sell something. It's marketing from an education standpoint.
Always. That's how I do my marketing. I mean, I run Facebook ads and it's really just about like, do you feel this way? Because symptoms aren't the cause. You could have focus issues and it could be for so many different reasons, all the way from past traumas that your brain now is in this slow pattern because you've had so much trauma in your life. Yeah. So it's like, this is why I love it so much. So you did ask me the question, what does the client actually do? So they are called clients because I'm not a doctor and they're not patients, but they are clients. So we actually do provide a therapy, which is neurofeedback therapy. So the best way to describe it, not everyone, did you ever learn about Pavlov's dogs? Ring the bell.
It rings a bell, but no pun intended. It rings a bell, but it's been a minute.
Okay, let me explain it this way. In science world, it's called operant conditioning. It's using reward to create a new behavior. And so we do this with our children, teaching them how to go potty at 2 years old, and you give them a treat and you do the potty dance.
Yep.
Positive reward creates new patterns and behaviors. The more positive reward, usually between 75 to 85%, creates that behavior faster. It's better than punishment, actually. So when you do have kids, actually, I'm not like against like discipline, right? But you get better results when trying to create a new behavior in someone by giving positive reinforcement.
Sure.
Yeah. So we use positive reinforcement directly to the brainwave activity by using audio and visual feedback. What that means is we put little sensors on the head. So let's say you come in, you do the QEEG brain map, and it's showing your frontal lobe is working too slow. So I'm going to put 2 little sensors on your head. You're attached. They're not going to shock you or magnets or anything like that. It's monitoring your brain activity. And then it's telling my software where that brain activity is. Is it in that slow pattern or is it where it's supposed to be? Every time it goes into the pattern that it's supposed to be in, on the screen in front of you, it turns bright and the volume gets loud. So it's giving a lifetime reward when the brainwave goes into the correct pattern. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah.
So it's giving that. And then when you're not in the correct pattern, the screen turns dark and the volume goes down. So it's giving both positive and negative feedback the whole time.
Wow.
And so it's actually teaching your brain waves how to change and process in a new way, which then creates new pathways in the brain, creates new behaviors subconsciously and consciously. Yeah.
That's really neat.
That's why it's called brain training. We literally are retraining the brain, like exercise for the brain.
And so is this something that, like, are you like most, like, I don't know what category it would be called, but are you like most like therapists or chiropractors in that like you don't necessarily do like insurance? Is this like an out-of-pocket situation?
Right. Now, some insurance is starting to recognize it.
Okay.
If you are a licensed professional counselor, so it is part of the mental health industry. So most of the time you do see it in like psychologists, counselors' offices. But many doctors like chiropractors or people like myself, like I have a master's in addiction counseling. I don't actually counsel people, but that higher level, somewhere in the mental health field or natural therapy type of person. Some nurses and MDs are starting to put it in their offices. Neurologists actually refer clients to me. They might not do it in their office, but they refer to me.
That's awesome.
For migraines, for depression, for ADHD for their clients. So it's really cool. More of the medical community is starting to recognize it more. It's been around since the 1960s.
Wow.
So it's been around a long time, created for seizure disorders. They actually saw that if you trained a certain brainwave at the top of the head, that seizures would go away.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Tons of science research behind that. Yeah.
That's sweet.
It's so cool. So yeah. So it's not through our office. We don't take insurance, but we do have like payment plans. We take health savings. Like if they do work for a corporate that has
like
that
the HSA thing.
HSA. But yeah, like I said, like we try to keep it affordable because even if insurance did cover it, they'd probably pay like $18, like it's not worth providers. And we could go on a whole tangent about insurance. I don't even have health insurance because I'd rather pay cash because it's cheaper. Even if a catastrophe happened, it'd still be cheaper for me to pay cash.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you find that are a lot of your clients, do they repeat, or do a lot of people do it like as a one and done?
No, one and done. No, that'd be like going to the gym one time and thinking you're going to lose 20 pounds.
Sure.
So this is a training modality. It is 3 to 6 months that you're coming. 3 to 6 months, or let's say 30 to 40 sessions. So you're coming like 2 times a week for at least 3 to 4 months, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a consistent training for the brain. You could come in more often and get it done faster. But the reality is according to research, you need at least 40 sessions to make a long-term change in the brain. Because that's what we're going for. We're not just trying to get rid of symptoms. We're literally trying to retrain the brain. And it's not going to change who you are. It's not going to change your personality. We're not reading your thoughts, nothing like that. It's really just making your brain healthier so it could process at the appropriate speed at the appropriate time. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I might need to come try it.
Yeah.
I just want to check it out.
Yeah.
I know you said 3 to 6 months, but I just want to come check it out and like see like what it
looks like.
The whole thing.
Because here's the thing. I do the first 2 visits the first one is record your brain activity, which takes about 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Eyes closed, eyes open, we record. Then you come back for the report of finding, and I give you a session of neurofeedback for you to experience it. So you do get to experience it. And listen, everyone that comes in does not have to do neurofeedback. If they just want to come get the brain map and see how their brain is functioning, that's fine. There's no pressure. I mean, it's really the people that do end up doing the therapy are really usually those ones that this is the last resort that they finally heard about. You know, I wish it was the first thing that they heard about. You probably would have saved tons of time, money, all that. But, you know, that's how it goes with the natural therapy world. So
interesting. Yeah, I might have to come check that out.
Yeah, come
Sounds
get
cool.
a brain map. Yeah,
I will, because oh God, who knows what's going on?
See all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you will. Some weird shit, I'm sure. So I want to transition over to kind of the extra stuff that you're working on. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you about my last friend.
Okay.
My last friend. These might be my favorite. Quick break, everybody, to tell you about today's sponsor, Hammerhead Creations. If you're a business owner and your marketing feels scattered, social media here, a website there, maybe a podcast or a YouTube channel you've been meaning to start, Hammerhead can help you put it all together. They work with small businesses to simplify marketing, clarify the message, and turn attention into real results instead of just noise. If you're tired of guessing and ready for smarter, more intentional approaches, Hammerhead is worth a look. And they're my favorite because they are me.
I knew it. That was great. And that's your logo?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Very cool.
It's actually, people often ask, and I never get to tell the story, so I'm going to tell it to you.
Yeah, I would love to hear.
People often ask, why Hammerhead?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a teenager, we went to the beach. And, you know, now I'm afraid to go out past my my waist. Because when I was a younger boy, went out a little too far and I was attacked by a hammerhead shark.
You were not.
I got bit. My left calf is actually a prosthetic.
Are you being serious?
Not many people know this. This is the first time I'm actually saying it on camera.
Really?
No, I just made that up.
You should. I know. I'm like, are you being serious?
No, I wish it was a cool story.
That would be so cool.
It would be so dope.
And
I just think
prosthetic calves.
I don't know. I'm sure they make prosthetic everything.
They have to.
I just think hammerhead sharks are cool. Sometimes I go real long with it when I'm telling someone about it. I'm like, it was crazy. Sometimes I just like lean down and I go ding ding and like really sell it, and they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, feel that.
Stop it.
And they're like, that doesn't feel like a prosthetic. I'm like, yeah, because I just made all that up.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
No, but
that is awesome. But it is a great logo too.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's first talk about, before the nonprofit stuff, let's talk about your show. You do a thing on Facebook, which is something that I'd never, I've done this podcast for 7 years.
Have you?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I got in before it was cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen it in a format like you do it. Like you record and you live stream it to your Facebook account, which I actually was thinking about last night. And I was like, ooh, it'd be kind of cool if my first live stream one was the one with you. But decided not to do it for whatever reason.
All right.
But it's a cool format. You just invite people in, they get to chill with you, and they spend 20, 30 minutes and they just kind of talk about their why.
Yeah.
So like, tell us about it. How did it start? Why'd you want to do it?
Yeah.
Kind of dive into it.
Well, I live in Acworth, and I've moved around a bit. Like, when I was with my ex-husband, we moved almost every year. I don't know why. We're always renting, and it's like, oh, let's get a bigger house.
And you're like,
whatever. And so moved around a lot. And then after the divorce, I lived in Kennesaw in this house for a couple of years. And then I met my boyfriend, and we started looking in Acworth. We were going to open like this business called the Museum of Lamps and Plants. We actually did open it for 2 days. It was super cool. This is what happened. We found this place for rent on Center Street. So right across from Center Street Tavern, diagonally. And it was a really cool spot. And so the whole point of it was we were going to sell lamps and plants because he, like I said, he's an artist. He was putting lamps together. We would go and like thrift a bunch of lamps, and then he'd make a new one and spray paint it and like make it really cool, funky. And I was getting into plants, even though I kill them. And I was like, but we could sell them. And before I kill him, let someone else kill him. So we spent 5 months, mainly him, and lots of money putting this beautiful place together. It had office space, had a huge like conference room, but it was like a living room, kind of like the studio you came to. It had like his workshop. It had a whole deck outside. We could play live music. So the point was almost like a co-work shopping in one. We opened 11/11 of last year, a year ago, and it started raining and the roof was leaking like all over his audio shit, like everywhere. And we told the landlord, like, hey, you got to fix this. And he's like, well, my roofer's gone out of town, so it's going to be a month. And we're like, we can't open with the like literally buckets of water throughout the whole place. So we closed 2 days later, never reopened. Heartbreaking. I mean, we cried all the time, money, effort. It was such a fun little thing. But luckily, it led to where we are now today.
Yep.
So the reason we moved to Acworth is because when we found that place for rent, 3 doors down on Lemon Street. Do you know downtown Acworth pretty well? So we live on Lemon Street.
Oh, really?
We live 3 doors down from Center Street.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so cool.
It's dangerous.
And the house, the landlord's freaking awesome. She owns a home in Marietta. The lady, I guess, it was a single lady. It's a 1904 house. So cool. Brick floors, $500 deposit is all we had to put down. And then the rent's kind of high, but
sure.
Love it. I mean, we have a 4-year lease there. We could walk anywhere in downtown Acworth.
This episode of Your Morning Drive is sponsored by Bees Charitable Pursuits and Resources. If you're a small business or organization with a heart for community, Bees wants to partner with you. They work alongside local businesses and nonprofits to support meaningful causes through fundraising, marketing, and networking. And if you're a nonprofit looking to grow your reach or a small business that needs help connecting, promoting, and making a bigger impact, Bees Charitable Pursuits and Resources has the tools, relationships, and experience to help you move forward. Learn more about them and get involved at beescharitablepursuits.com.
We fell in love with it. It's actually the most like home to me because being close to the water, the small community, I feel like planted there. Like I love the community.
Yeah.
And it's the first place in Georgia that I've really felt this way, to be honest.
Sure.
So I was like, I love Acworth. And you know what? Like the reason I wanted to start the Heart of Acworth is because I wanted to get to know more people in Acworth, to be honest. It wasn't meant just for business owners. It's not meant for just business owners. That's obviously what I'm attracting because, like you said, we network a lot. But I do want to, I know my neighbors. I live next door to an 80-year-old couple from LA whose kids bought the house. His name is Bob. He walks his dog up and down the street. And my 7-year-old loves Bob. When Bob lost his first dog, when we first moved in, he lost his dog, passed away. And my 7-year-old drew him a picture and said, that we love you. And we just met these people, right? Yeah. And they feel like family does. These are our neighbors. And it's hard to find a neighborhood where you actually know your neighbors' names and you wave to them and check in on them. And it's feels really good,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to create a podcast. I've never done, I did do a podcast with a really good friend of mine. Do you know Doug Shaw?
I know the name. I don't know if I've ever met him.
You would know him. He's out in Paulding County. He sells businesses. He's a business broker and sells corporate. He'd be a great person to have on. But we did a podcast called Whiskey After Work.
Okay.
And so we would have people come in and they'd have to bring a bottle of whiskey to share.
That's dope.
And then we'd get their story and talk all about it. It'd last an hour. We'd be drinking whiskey the whole time. But here's the thing. My boyfriend's mom, who's very professional down in Florida, she's like, listen, Melissa, like, it's great and everything, but you're talking about the brain most of the time, and then you're just sitting there getting drunk with your friends on a podcast.
Hey, that's a good time.
She's like, it's kind of contradicting. And I was like, you're right. I should do a different podcast. So I had to tell Doug I can't do it anymore. And we're still good friends. We go cigar cellar together. But anyways, Heart of Acworth became something because I wanted to get to know more people in the community. I've only been doing it. I think you were like my 5th guest.
Oh, really? So it was really recent.
Like, I just started it like 3 months ago.
I assumed you'd been doing it so long. Like,
No.
you just set it all up and you were like, yeah, just come by and we'll do it.
That's it. I am booked every Monday through March with a guest.
That's great.
People I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, some I know.
Isn't it the best?
It's so fun. It's so fun. And like you said, it's only 30 minutes. This is right in the middle of the day, Monday, 12:30. After I run a women's group, and then we do the podcast, whatever the guest is. So for a while, it was like a bunch of the women that were part of my women's group. But now it's like, I created a Facebook page called Acworth Connects. In 6 months, it's over 5,000 people.
Yeah.
I went live on that to announce, like, hey, this is the podcast. I want to get to know you. Come get to know me. Like, I'm a small business owner here. Support your small businesses. That's why I love, like, having small businesses on, too. Like, I think that we need a lot of support as small businesses. So that's how it all started, literally, like 3 months ago. We do have it's not even really professional yet. Like, I've downloaded it, like, from Facebook Live that I do, and then I'll upload it to YouTube. I'm not on Spotify or anything like that yet. But I'll get there.
Yeah.
But it is fun. It's fun to do live. I get more views on the Facebook Live than my YouTube channel.
Well, that's the reason I've kind of experimented with the thought of like doing it live. But the reason I haven't yet is because, like, if we did this recording today and we did it live, it wouldn't release, like I said before we started, like for a month or so.
Right.
So like people will be like, cool, but then like it's gone. And then, so, there's probably a way I could do it, but I also am taking a couple months off of recording.
Are you?
In a couple months just to like catch up.
Yeah.
Maybe
you could do like recaps of like some of your best guests and go live with them.
Well, one thing I've thought of is like the night before or like a day or two before like an episode releases is do like a Facebook Live with
like
the
a
person.
Quick teaser,
yeah.
right? Like a few minutes. Like, this is who. Like,
right. Nothing crazy. 10 minutes max.
Yeah. I mean, that's why movie trailers are great. It's really, that's what it is. You're just going to do like a little trailer.
Because everyone gets notified when you go live.
That's what I'm saying. And people could go back and watch it later too. That's the thing. And it's right there. They're scrolling and they're like, oh, and then they'll watch it even though you're not live anymore. So it's a great idea. I think doing like a little trailers of the guests coming up or recaps, like I said, of some of the best guests, some of the most viewed type of thing. That'd be fun. I think you should do it.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, look into it.
I like it. I will look into it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I did that. And like I said, I've just become part of this community. We're opening the nonprofit. It's not open yet. We're buying one of the oldest buildings on Main Street. It's a old auto cycle. And, that was not our plan. First of all, we rent still. We rent a home because I have a lot of student loan debt. So it's very difficult to get a mortgage or a home loan, and also being a business owner, no matter how successful it may look, as business owners, you have to really show income versus debt, things like that. Yeah. So this building we're buying is the old auto cycle. The guy who owned it, Motorcycle Mike was his name. Did you know him?
I never met him.
Have you heard about him?
Very little.
All right. Was it mostly negative?
I don't know. The last I'd honestly heard is that they were selling the building.
Okay, yeah. So that was 3 years ago. He passed away, sadly. But he was not the favorite of all of Acworth City. There were some that just loved Motorcycle Mike. I never met him, but what I know of him from his daughters who are selling us the building is that he was not a fan of many. And we have heard that also from a few people in Acworth because he spoke his mind and he didn't let anyone control him. The city,
to kind of respect
the officials,
who knows what kind of stuff he was saying.
he was not saying very many nice things. I mean, he
Yeah.
mooned the UPS guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was
crazy.
about a 300-something pound dude.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he played for the
How
San
did Motorcycle
Diego...
Mike get on a motorcycle?
I don't know, but he played for the San Diego Chargers. I found out later, which is where
Really?
I'm from. I was like, this is my spirit animal. Imagine.
Right.
Motorcycle Mike is my spirit animal.
We'll talk about coming full circle and like a
I
sign from the
know.
universe. That
And he was raised 10 minutes from where I was raised in
Whoa.
Chula Vista, which is like 10 minutes from where I lived.
Wow.
So he grew up probably kind of hood too. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
crazy
I found
connection.
this all out because here's what happened. The building had been sitting there for 3 years. And like I said, we had only been here a year. My boyfriend loves artsy stuff. So he started working on go-karts. And he bought a go-kart on Facebook Marketplace, brought it to the house, and was like tinkering with it, trying to like, he loves customizing things like Pimp My Ride, but for go-karts.
Right.
So he's doing all this, and then he starts buying a couple more and a couple more. So our house starts looking like the white trash house. I'm like, please.
Because there's shit just all in your yard and everything.
Yeah. I'm like, we can't, like, we're on like the strip where people take tours of the homes.
Right.
Please get this out of here.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, and at Motorcycle Mike's, it's like abandoned because he's dead. The daughters live 4 hours away, and one's like an hour and a half, one's like 4 hours down by Savannah. And so there's like piles of motorcycles, go-karts. There's like what are those big ones that look like golf carts but that you ride them around football fields?
Yeah,
one of those.
Yeah. Like a John Deere thing. Like
yeah.
I
It had Lassiter High School on it. I guess these were all jobs that were there at the Cycle Auto Shop that had never like been completed. I mean, there were piles. There was ivy growing over things that you didn't even know were under there, right? Hundreds of auto parts inside the building. Brand new auto parts. Like,
so your boyfriend was just like,
So what happened? We're like, that place looks like trash, and I'm sure they need to get all that out of there. So I called the city of Acworth. I was like, who owns the building? We want to help clean it up. No charge. What we want is to take all the stuff, and we'll either just throw it away or sell it or use it. So the daughters call us like in tears. They're like, we're about to close. These buyers are going to buy it. And we're about to close, and part of it is we have to clean it out. And everyone that is saying they want to come clean it out are trying to charge $10,000 or more to clean it out, even though they get to keep all the stuff. Are you guys being serious? Like, you're not going to charge us? We're like, yeah, like, can we have everything? And they're like, yeah, like, do it. And I said to the grandpa that was there, if the sellers fall through, let me know if you want to sell this building to me. I'm just saying it because I put things out in the universe that I don't even know are going to come back.
Who knows if it happens, yeah.
Right? I had no intention, truly. But a week later, the real estate agent called and was like, hey, are you guys serious? Because the buyers who have been 10 months in negotiations with us just walked away. And I'm like, are you serious? Well, here's the thing. You got to owner finance us. And this place was listed. I'm not going to tell everyone what I'm getting it for.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to.
It's so good. I mean, it was listed for $625, and I'm definitely not paying that.
Wow.
But it's also because they saw our heart. Like, we did not come in there trying to screw anyone over. We're not millionaires coming in and trying to put some fancy restaurant. Not saying that Acworth doesn't need things like that, but we're real people trying to make a real cause happen in the community for the community.
Right.
And the daughters saw that. And so they're owner financing it. We got a great deal. We're supposed to be closing February 28th. Some stuff happened before then. And, you know, there's some code issues. So the city decided they wanted to take the sellers to court right during our closing.
Wow.
They want the building.
Yeah.
We won't get too far into that because I don't want them to hear this. But
yeah, that's all right.
Anyways, yeah. So anyways.
You told me last time we talked.
Yes, we're getting the building February 28th. And they're working on fixing some of the code stuff, which actually helps us out. But, you know, we got such a good deal. So I kind of feel guilty about that. But it's okay. It's all going to work out. They're so happy we're going in there. And I said, we're going to keep the legacy of your dad going. And even though we can't have an auto shop there, within the nonprofit, we could work on small motor vehicles.
Yeah.
So
you could even have like some kind of something hanging on the wall, or, you know,
we do. So
that just kind of says Motorcycle Mike, or maybe it's just a motorcycle and it just pays homage
so
to.
Next time you drive by there's a wooden motorcycle hanging under the awning.
Yeah.
My boyfriend made it because the original wood sign that was hanging there for 20 something years, the daughters wanted that because it was their dad's sign.
Yeah.
So my boyfriend made a replica of it.
Wow.
And we hung it up.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it when new people come in and take over a space, but they pay tribute to who had it before them.
Yeah. No
Because then that
matter.
just keeps that community, like, whether Motorcycle Mike was loved or hated, it doesn't
Right.
matter. It's just a matter of, like,
He was
honoring the
something
history
there,
that came before
right?
them.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many people stopped there and did business, whether it was good business, bad business, a little bit difficult, whatever. You know what? He was who he was. When I found, here's the thing that was really like heart touching. I went in the office and I was cleaning up all the trash off there were piles of paper.
Wow.
And I found a calendar, one of those pocket calendars that you could write in, and it's completely empty. And then I'm like fingering through it, and 3 things are written: his 2 daughters' birthday and his wife's birthday. That's the only thing that's written in there.
Wow.
And it's like, this man was human, you know what I mean? He had feelings. He loved his family. He loved what he did. Whether he came across as some asshole or not, he was a human and he had love. He had love. And people did love him too. And
I
that was
love
like,
that.
yeah, it was very heart touching. And I actually he also had newspaper clippings of his daughter's junior high awards that she got for volleyball.
Wow.
Because she was in the news. She was like really big volleyball player in Woodstock.
Say what you want about Motorcycle Mike, but he was a family man.
He was. And every family has their shit. But you know what? We're all human.
We are.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, I would normally just ask, like, so what's next? But, I mean, obviously, we're getting that building,
And
doing
then
all the fixing, and then opening it.
opening the makerspace. And if you don't know what a makerspace is, if you're listening in, it's a nonprofit, educational nonprofit, 501c3, and it is a place for community, young and old, to come and make shit. That's why it's called a makerspace.
And so it's a nonprofit
so cool.
because you guys are providing the space
and the tools, everything. Some people, so you pay a membership to be part of it. So that's how the nonprofit keeps going and keeps money coming in, right? So there's different tiers of memberships, and every makerspace kind of has their own little thing that they focus on. So like, there's actually one in Woodstock Acworth line. And they do a lot of like STEM work, like robotics.
Oh,
and
I've
things
heard
like
of that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cherokee Makerspace.
Yes.
Yep. And then there's one in Decatur, and there's one down by the airport. And the one down by the airport is adults only. And they do things like come do a workshop, make your own beer. Like,
oh, cool.
So it's like a workshop place, but it's also most of them are 24/7 access. So if you can't sleep and you want to go tinker around or do something or feel artistic, you come in, you have your own code. And depending on like if there's like woodworking or welding, things like that, which a lot of the places have, you have to be certified through the nonprofit to be able to use those machines and have a fob to unlock them. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a whole process to it. We went and visited the Decatur one, and it's kid friendly. So they had like an art area, had 3D printers, sewing machines, a whole room of audio equipment that you could take apart and
That's
just
dope.
build stuff back together. They had a workshop on how to build your own speakers. It was cool. Yeah. So they had welding outside. They had a woodworking. So ours will be focused 3D printing, studio area. If anyone wants to come do like content creation, they could come use the studio area. We're going to do 3D printing and sewing. And then the big part will be the small motor customization, like how you can, like my boyfriend's literally cutting a motorcycle and a four-wheeler apart, like cutting them in half and then welding those together.
Oh, that's so cool.
And creating like scooters out of four-wheelers and stuff. It's cool.
What a king.
It's fun.
Sounds really cool.
That's funny. His brand is called King Custom.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
It's
wow.
super cool.
You never like talk to somebody and like hear a story about someone like your boyfriend and like, I'm like, wow, that dude knows more about that stuff. Like it just sounds like he's so good with his hands.
Yeah.
And he could just like, his hands are his most powerful tool. Like he can just take shit apart, put it back together.
Yeah.
Whereas like if a light bulb goes out, I'm like, oh God, like what do I do? Like it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
Here's the thing. When I met him, he like had like put up a shelf or something for me. And I was like, you're so handy. And then I created a monster. He's like, what? Because he had never been told that. His dad was in construction, but he never like did work with him.
Right.
He was always the artist. Music was his thing. Right. And so I said, you're so handy. And then like, I think I bought him like for Christmas or his birthday or something, saw, like a table
like a hand saw or a table saw. Yeah,
one of those things. And he just started making stuff. And he's like, you created a monster. So all this welding and everything, he's teaching himself through YouTube.
That's so cool.
ChatGPT. So he's never done any of this type of work ever in his life.
That also just shows what kind of guy he is and that he takes advantage of his resources.
Yes.
And he's teaching himself all these skills that, people
want to learn. And that's the point of the makerspace is come learn. And you might be teaching yourself. You might be learning from the guy next to you that's the retired engineer that's just there to have fun. And because in the Decatur space, there was like people in their 70s teaching. And they are teaching. I'm like doing quotes, but they're literally teaching younger generations how to use their hands and be creative and resourceful. Just like you said, I think our society needs to become more resourceful.
That's true.
We just shut down when things seem a little crazy or hard. Yeah.
So, well, what are y'all calling yours?
Okay. So at first, so he calls me Bee because Melissa means honeybee.
Yeah.
That's the name of it. Did you know that Melissaphobia means scared of bees?
I did not know that.
How fun is that?
I might have that.
It's so fun. So he calls me Bee. His name is Dursky. That's his name. And so we were going to call...
His first name is Dursky?
No. I won't tell you his first name because he hates it.
Okay.
His last name is Fedursky.
Okay.
And then one of an old friend from like 9 years ago started calling him Dursky. And he, as an artist, he just stuck with Dursky.
Not Drewski, Dursky.
Correct. Not Drewski. U and R flipped. But so we named it as of now D and B, like D and B Makerspace. But, our studio where you recorded is actually called Gather Studios. So I think we're going to like do an extension of that. DM, like doing business as Gather Studios. So the nonprofit is listed as D&B Makerspace, but then it will be marketed as Gather Studios because we want people to gather and create.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. So, besides the opening of that thing, what's next?
Oh God.
What's Brain Train Center's got on the docket for 2026? What's the podcast? You've got your hand in a few different things. What's next for Melissa?
I do Women's Business Connections, which is a women's mastermind company that me and two other friends run. Mainly, here's what I decided in 2026. I love having my hands in a lot of things, but I have them in enough things now. So I'm not going to add, as of right now, I'm not going to add any like new businesses or new ideas. What I need to do is really focus, keep focused on Brain Train Centers. It's my baby. I love it. If I could do neurofeedback for free and live, I would. Like that's how much I love it. That's how much I love seeing people change their lives, get healthier, all that. That's my dream, is to always help people do that. And I'll continue to do that. Whether I'm in the office seeing people or I keep employing and keep growing offices across the country, which is really my true goal, is to sell more licenses. So I'm actually working, this is kind of exciting, with the psychologist of the NFL teams. He contacted me.
That's awesome.
And he asked me to partner with him, and we might go into the ketamine clinic and have an office in there.
Wow, that'd be so cool, dude.
He's already sent me 3 clients. They're not NFL players because he does see one of them is affiliated with the NFL, but I won't say too much,
Yeah.
But he contacted me right at New Year's, and within 2 weeks, 4 new clients came through him. And so we met the other day, went and saw the ketamine clinic. They have the room for us. So next month we might have one in the Sandy Springs, Atlanta area. Wow. And I'll be partnered with like a world-renowned psychologist that does research, that believes in, seeing how the brain works. How, as I mentioned, the other guy is like, here's how the brain's working. What do we do? Medication, therapy, all of it. So having that high caliber of a doctor on my team and me on his is really exciting. And then I would love to just open a few more, either in Georgia, or like into the Carolinas. We have one down in Florida. So like really focus right now on the Southeast and open a few more offices to provide neurofeedback in other communities, and also give other people an opportunity to give this service and own a business is really exciting for me. I'm very good at teaching the start of a business, and I love doing that.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love meeting other people also that have their hands in a lot of things, and I kind of want to ask you what people would say about you in this regard, but like I feel like a lot of the criticism I've gotten over the years is just like, you're doing too much.
Oh God, I've heard that all the time.
Because you really just like focus on the podcast thing, but now you're like, you go and you write a newsletter once a month, and it's once a month. Who cares?
Right?
It's not like I'm doing it
That's
every
what you
Monday.
should do.
So like newsletter, podcast, marketing stuff, live events, maybe this studio possibility thing that's coming. And people are just like, oh, wow, you're just like doing a lot. Like, and I'm like, yep. And I'm somehow still here.
Loving it.
And I'm thriving.
You know how much time is in a day and how
So
much time people waste?
That's why my friends, most of them, if not all of them, work 9 to 5s.
Right.
And you know,
and they
some people are okay with that. But like I wake up at 5:30 every day.
Right.
And
you have a whole long freaking day to fill
do.
things up with. Here's the thing. If you were, so the other day I saw on Facebook and actually in our women's group, we're talking about our vision and our energy drainers, our energy filler uppers, all this. We just talked about it this week. And I was watching a video the other day and it said, if you really want to see what you spend your time on, have an Excel sheet or a lined piece of paper to put 15-minute increments, and every 15 minutes set a timer and write what you did the last 15 minutes. Do you know how much waste of time people will realize that they're doing? Scrolling for 2.5 hours, I guarantee you. And in that 2.5 hours, you know how much you could get done on your business? You could write a newsletter for the whole year. You could finish all the newsletters in one sitting in 2.5 hours, I'm sure. Especially with ChatGPT and tools we have. People waste so much time. No excuse. And so here's the thing. I will say this. I'm trying to reword how I talk about myself, right? Our words are very powerful in our brain.
Sure.
Also how we describe ourselves. So like if people say like, how are you doing? And you just keep answering, oh, I'm so busy. I don't want to be a busy bee. I want to be a productive person. So I'm trying to reword like, oh, I'm so productive. I got this done. Like share some of the things that I've completed. And it's not to impress people. It's to be like, you could do that too. Well,
it's also, I mean, I've heard recently, and you even just kind of alluded towards it, but there's a lot of power in the words that you use, even when you're talking about yourself. And it's like, the more like, oh, how you doing? You're doing a lot. It's like, oh, I know it's so much.
Right.
Rather than answering it that way, it's like, oh yeah, everything's great. I'm doing my best.
So much done. I'm getting so much
done. That's one thing I've started saying is like, oh, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing my best.
That's right.
Or like,
that's great.
Whatever it takes is something that someone told me a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I like that a lot.
I like that too.
Like, how you doing? Like, doing whatever it takes.
That's good. Yeah.
Or like, hey, Logan, what do you do? I used to say, oh, so much. But now I say, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can slowly but surely, you could rot your own mind into thinking all the things that you're doing every day.
Yeah.
That it's too much, and then you'll give up.
Right.
And then,
that's most people, right? And if they don't do it perfect, or they're at the expectations that they placed on themselves, which are usually unrealistic, and then you fail, and then you're like, see, I shouldn't have done it. Or like, I knew I couldn't do it. I mean, our words are so powerful. And if you start like when you have your own kids, if you plan to do that, but like I recognize even my 7-year-old and 15-year-old, the times that I am talking more positive about myself around them, they begin to do that too. But if I were a mom walking around like, I'm so fat, I eat too much, blah, 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 they start talking like that.
Yeah.
Like
the energy is contagious.
Absolutely. And they mimic. So even your friends start to mimic. When you hang out with a group, you start saying some things similarly. Yeah. So like we really do need to, for your brain health, if I were to say, and I have to remind myself every day, I was in a bad mood this morning and my boyfriend's like, you and your 15-year-old are both kind of acting the same way.
Vibing.
Can you guys figure it out here?
Yeah.
But like it's hard to remind yourself, but it's definitely possible. And it's definitely possible to get more done in a day than we even do now. Because if you were to look at your time on your phone, how much time you've spent on your phone, and really see, was it productive things or were you scrolling? Which also is horrible for your brain, by the way, if I may add. Dopamine decreases when you scroll. It's giving you dopamine hits that are fake, which causes your brain not to be able to make its own, which then causes lack of focus.
There you go.
So people don't know that either. It's like, oh, I'm just scrolling. They think it's just like, oh, I'm just watching funny videos. No, you're literally rotting your brain.
Right.
It's not saying I don't ever do it.
I used to like give my brother shit because he would like if we go on a family vacation and I'm like, oftentimes when there's 3 siblings, like my mom and dad have their own room. And then it's like me, my wife in one bed and like my brother and sister in the other.
Sure.
Or one of them on the floor, whatever. Yeah. And sometimes like I'll be like laying in bed and right before I go to sleep, I'll be doom scrolling or brain rotting. And he'll go, bro, you're brain rotting. And I'll be like, shut up. But like after he walks away, I'm like, he's right. I am brain rotting. And what's so difficult for me too with like offering marketing services, a lot of the times I do spend a lot of my time on social media.
Sure.
So sometimes it's really hard for me to be like, okay, so I was on Instagram for 2 hours today, but how much of that was for me and how much of that was for them?
And for research, right? Like you do want to see trends and things like that, especially if that's the service you're offering. So I'm not saying like don't ever go on it. It's just like
it's just do it in moderation.
Yeah. And is the time that you're spending on it productive or is it a waste of your time?
Right.
I'm not saying never have some chill time or downtime.
Sure.
I will say at night and first thing in the morning, worst times to do it. Literally, you're bypassing brain activity that your brain should naturally like rev up to, and you're skipping the natural healthy brain waves and going straight to that fast wave pattern, which causes more stress and anxiety. So the first thing when you grab your phone in the morning, which all of us do or have done, put your phone out of the room. Try to wait at least 30 minutes to an hour to not touch your phone.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but none of us are brain doctors. Like, we're not doing brain surgery. Nobody's going to die if you don't check your phone first thing when you wake up. It's okay. And when you go to sleep.
I've even made a conscious effort of making sure that like at certain parts of the day, like I throw my phone on do not disturb just to even give myself a break.
Good, yeah.
Like it's so nice to be able to put your phone on do not disturb and like throw it across the room.
Seriously.
And like just like exist to yourself.
Yeah. How much time do you actually spend with no stimulation? You know, I drive with, people think I'm a psychopath. I drive with nothing on the radio.
I do that sometimes.
Oh, it's so great.
It's peaceful.
So
just
peaceful.
the sounds of your tires hitting the road. It's kind of relaxing.
It's very relaxing. And some people can't handle that because if they have anxiety, their thoughts go crazy, right? But man, if you could do that, or if you could even sit 10, 15 minutes, that pause can create more successful time management throughout the day when you could pause and even think about, all right, let me take this 10 minutes, think about what I'm going to do the next 30 minutes to an hour and do it.
Yeah.
And it's discipline, but it's doable.
It starts off in a way because I used to think about that and I'd be like, oh, I hate being micromanaged by other people, but this sounds like I'm trying to micromanage myself. But it starts out that way and then it just becomes habit after a while.
Sure, it just becomes a habit.
And then it's just like, every night before I go to bed, I whip out my to-do list and I make a list of everything I need to do tomorrow. Yeah. And it helps me start every day.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Like last night, I realized I got in bed without doing it. And so I got out of bed and went and wrote my shit down.
That's great.
Because it's like...
So good.
It's better to start the day, at least from the self-employment standpoint, to like know what you're getting into or what you should get into.
Sure.
Because if you're anything like me, you'll be driving and you'll remember something you forgot to do.
Same.
And you're like, oh God. And then you like click up your phone to remind you to do it in 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever.
Right.
So it's really easy to just fall into that trap of just like doom scrolling and brain rotting. But if you make these little changes, it can really help you in the long run.
Yeah. And it is good. Like how you said, your friends say like, oh, why don't you just focus on one thing? You can put more focus on the thing that makes you, let's say, the happiest, or like maybe it's that thing that provides the most income. Like brain train centers, that's both for me. So most of my energy and time does go to that. And when I do get drawn away from it too much by all the other things, I do see a decrease in business and all that, right? So I think it's also just good time management. It's not that you have to focus all your time on one thing. It's how are you managing your time on each thing?
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Melissa, thank you.
Thank you.
This was so fun.
This was great.
I wanted to ask you, well, we kind of touched on it, so I feel like I know the answer, but what would your biggest critics say about you?
Oh, I have critics?
I'm sure you do. I'm sure I've got haters. I'm sure people see my shit and they're like, oh, another thing from Logan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's probably one of the things like, oh my God, what else is she getting into?
Right.
But also there's people that would be like, oh, I want to be part of what you're doing because you're doing a lot and I feel inspired. Like, I think that's a big thing is like inspiring others. But I think the biggest critic might be that it's just like, oh, you're just spread so thin. You're just doing all the stuff. Like, why are you doing all this stuff?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Because I'm looking for love, people.
Oh, right? I'm filling voids.
I'm filling my cup.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, I would agree. I think that's probably the biggest critic.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's usually because they don't understand and it's out of fear and not understanding the hustle or the grind or the desire. Like, why don't you just go get a job and you'll be stable and have a stable paycheck. First of all, you could be the vice president, CEO of any company and be fired the next day.
Yeah.
That is not
No company
stable.
cares about you.
No.
Some of my friends won't hear it because some of them have done well for themselves and are in good places in their 9-to-5s.
Great.
But I've always said, buddy, they will, if this is the joke I use a lot, buddy, if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, they will send flowers to your funeral, help pay for funeral expenses, maybe.
Right.
But they will have a new person in that seat before your body's cold.
Yeah, that's true.
It's morbid, but it's true.
It's true.
Like, some of y'all bend over backwards for these companies.
Man,
and at the end of the day, the CEOs and the vice presidents and stuff are filling their pockets with $100,000 bonuses at the end of the year.
True.
And you get a gift card to Publix.
And you're struggling,
So
paycheck to paycheck sometimes,
Yeah, it's an easy trap. But Melissa, thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to go ahead and advertise, tell the people about the Facebook group, the nonprofit that's coming, brain train centers, how to get involved and learn more information about all the things. Tell people where to go.
I'm most active on Facebook. So if you want to connect on Facebook, obviously you could follow me or add me as a friend. Melissa Hergert is just my name on there. And then on there, you could find all the things like Acworth Connects, which is the Facebook public group. And we promote businesses, which on Fridays is business promotion day. And,
Sweet. Approve my post.
I will. And then my website for Brain Train, if you do want to just see how your brain's functioning, and maybe you're not even here in Georgia and you're in one of the other states that we're in. We're all the way from up to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Kentucky, down to Florida, a couple places in between, Louisiana, Alabama. Then you can go to the website braintraincentersinc.com.
Sweet. Thank you so much for your time, dude. This was really cool of you. Thank you for bringing the coffee.
You're welcome.
I see the things that you're doing, and I know that we align on a lot with like having multiple things that you're passionate about. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
As long as they're bringing you happiness, then keep on chugging along. So keep doing all the shit you're doing, my friend. I love seeing you win. So here's to more winning in this year.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Guys, I'll make sure to throw Melissa's information that she just talked about in the description of the episode so that if you're interested in one or all of the things that we talked about, you can go and get connected. Thank you for listening today. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.